Yeah, and he doesn't duck, he comes straight out after speaking, of course, first to his players. David, your thoughts, first of all?
Disappointed we lost, of course, and certainly incidents happen in the game that have cost us dearly.
2 minutes into the second half, you couldn't have had a worse Christmas present there, could you?
No, especially at half time, as I was explained to Luke and Scott, that against them today were two of the very, like Constable, like extremely willing runners of centre forwards, and the pairings a very strong pairing. But my explanation was keep your body in line with the ball and deal with it effectively. Luke's put his hand up, he's apologised to the players and to myself and staff. It was a huge moment in the game because there was hardly anything in the first half, and it's cost us dearly.
When that actually happened, as far as the penalty was concerned, no argument with that?
Oh no. The boy's made an error. That's no problem. He's put his hand up and we move on from that. But these things cost you, and we asked for a bright start second half. I felt we were certainly in the game because there was nothing in the first half. Could have been a bit more clinical. That's why I made the changes. I felt we had to create a little bit more. We didn't look like we were having that purpose in the final third. However, our approach play at times was okay. But I still felt that little man, when he went on, would have made a bit more of an impact if we hadn't gone down to 10 men straight away.
Yeah, there was certainly little changes in that, wasn't there? There was moments when it looked like things might happen, but was it just impossible against the side on a run like this that had 11 against 10? That's
right, absolutely right, and things cost you. But they are on a good run and they're organised. They play the channel very well, and as I say, I felt the front two partnership was a big difference. And I mean, from witness games with York, that they're doing very well at the moment. So you've got to give credit to York as well. They're no mugs, and they know what it's about. And I felt that today the little things have cost us dearly. And, once again, you get punished for that.
Not bad strikers up front when they keep off a man who they paid 55,000 for. Nash, who was on the bench and then came on and scored the third one. It shows you the strength of what they've got, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, let's face it, I would have liked ranking in the summer. I spoke to the boy. Unfortunately, he wasn't to be, and we couldn't bring him to our club. But I certainly think he's a big asset, and it showed in the end today. The difference was the front two pairing.
Now, how important the game on Monday at Field Mill on the back of this?
Oh, of course, it's important how you respond, and the players will be in again tomorrow morning. They dust themselves down and hopefully get the lift we need. I felt that they've got to keep their principles right, and in football you have to do that. You can't change things dramatically, and we've got to make sure that we can get people off the sick bed. I couldn't make other changes today because we had the personnel were ill, and unfortunately that costs you as well. Little things off the pitch that are costing us, and there's no excuse today. We were beaten, and that's life, and you move on. Some
things you say are private in the changing room, but can you give us a little bit of what sort of things you said to them? Was it negative then to positive, or what?
I think you know me by now. I'm never negative, but I'm constructive. There's a difference there. A negativity when your players are kicked and they're down to 10 men for 40 minutes, 35 minutes, however long it was. They don't need me kicking them in the teeth anymore when you've got a game 2 days later, do they? So it'd be rather inconsiderate and rather irresponsible as manager to knock your players when they're down. You need people to lift them, and that's what we've got to do. We'll be in tomorrow and we'll dust ourselves down and we'll look at things in a constructive way. I'm certainly not someone that comes out and kicks people when they're down. There's no need. And certainly your players, when they work very hard, and I felt the work rate was still there in the second half.
Let's put York in perspective today. They've had the best run. They've increased it now since 1955 of wins in the league or elsewhere. How good a side is York?
I certainly think they're up there with the Oxfords. They work very hard. They're organised, and I think in the first half Alan Marriott just blamed himself for the first goal. I couldn't really tell because there was a crowd of players there, but he said he had it and he couldn't get hold of the ball. So there's little things that cost us. They're an organised side, as are we. But likewise, I've got full respect for the run they're on. We'd all like that, wouldn't we? It'd be wonderful. But we've got to get back to putting things right and working hard on the training ground.
I've spoken to you in recent times. You and I have had quite a lot of conversations. You're no quitter, you said. I mean, no, you know what happens, don't you? This is the game. The fans react to it. They look at the score lines, etc. This team, can it get there this season?
Well, we've created an opportunity for ourselves, and I've said, look, if you want to go into in-depth things, we need a longer time about that. But today I'm reflecting on one game, and I'm sure the fans will be disappointed that they've made the journey up here, and I'm very grateful for their support.
642 of them.
Yeah, magnificent. Tremendous support, especially when we get you know, 8s and 9s come into our ground. No, I think, you know, our fans are a different class. Yes, I'm sure that at the moment they're unhappy because we haven't been winning every game like York have. But if we want, you know, to dissect further, there's the theory behind it is there, and I think we all know that.
You said you might be 1 or 2 in the transfer window coming in. Are you still hoping for that? Have you spoken to the chairman about that?
Well, again, these are things that take a long time to explain, and I'm not going to do it straight after a game when things might be said that unnecessarily. The chairman and I have got a fantastic working relationship. We want this club to go forward, and all I'll say, in the light of day, we're doing our best. We're doing our best with what we've got. You know, and I don't ask for any more. I ask for a considerate approach, and I think that's what we need for the stability of the football club.
But David, if you have the choice and you can, will you bring in 1 or 2 in the January transfer?
Of course I would, yes.
Thank you very much, David.
Thank you.
Just going to ask, in terms of development of the side and sort of bedding in, is that, you think, still a little bit of an issue? Perhaps, you know, the new.
It wasn't an issue in the first half, Matt, because there was only a fraction between us, so there wasn't quite a lot between the two teams, was there? But you know, there was 3 or 4 instances in their half, the ball drops for them, you know, and it didn't for us in the first half. So, as I say, I'm not going to be too despondent because I felt that with 10 men, we still worked our socks off, and the changes were going to be made to try and win the game rather than you know, look at anything else. And it may well have worked, but going down to 10 men against a team that are full of confidence certainly doesn't help you.
Yeah.
But. You know, I have to deal with the issues when they cross the line. I can't do it.
You're talking about trying to get a few more people off their sick bed for Monday.
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Who's still ill? Is Rob Duffy's presumably one of them?
Well, Duffers hasn't trained. You know, he's had, you know, obviously a chronic stomach upset, and you know, again, the changes needed to be made today were in the wide areas to be a bit more creative. And with Rob, you've got to remember, John, is that we have to manage the game because we've got another game on Monday. So we'll dust ourselves down and evaluate that overnight. But when you're training with bare bones as well, it don't help you over this period where you know you're not keeping players on the pitch that you want to be.
So apart from Duffers, who else do you think might come into contention for you Monday?
Well, Craig Armstrong, hopefully he'll feel better. Blair certainly hasn't felt well today, and I see how he is in the morning. Jake, I thought for a man that hasn't trained for a certain period of time, I thought he showed huge enthusiasm and endeavour when he went on, tried to create something. So I'm hopeful that obviously Duffers as well, and we'll see. But really, it's defensively that we must have that stability, isn't it?
It's been a while since the win at home. I mean, that would be the best sort of Christmas present you could have, I guess, now, wouldn't it?
It certainly would, yeah. Absolutely right. I would love I'll give anything for 3 points right now, because I feel that, you know, confidence is a huge factor, isn't it, in football? And obviously we all have a bag of that in our brain. And how you deal with that is by rolling your sleeves up, dusting yourself down and fighting. That's what we've got to do. Anybody would tell you that. But I understand, you know, we haven't had that win at home for a little bit, and we want to put that right. Nobody wants to put it right more than myself and my staff and the players.
I suppose in that regard that the fans' patience is going to be important, isn't it?
Patience is always the key, isn't it? And as I say, we haven't got all day here to dissect things how deep you want to go, because we all know that, you know, there's things that could be said and they don't need to be said. I've got, you know, a huge imagination for where I'd like to be, but you know, we have to be pragmatic at times.
Lovely.